Hello viewers, Super GT here. We're going to be taking a look at Laguna Seca. Now this is a track that I think many of you will have been requesting, highly requested circuit, and finally it's going to be added into Gran Turismo Sport. So what we're going to be doing is a quick track guide. I'm going to go around, point out a couple of things that you want to be looking out for during the course of the lap. Okay, so we're going to jump into a couple of laps here. On the first lap, I'm going to go very slow. I'm quite slow anyway, but what I'm going to do is point out things you should be looking for during the course of the lap, which should help you with your consistency and your overall speed. Okay, so the main straight, I mean, there's not much to say here really. You've got this fast sweeping left-hander of turn 1 officially. Here, quite an easy corner, and what you're going to be looking for as you go into the turn 2 at the bottom of the hill there is this braking point of the 3, which is the second board. You're braking just before that. So that's what you're looking out for. And you're going to kind of turn in towards the corner as you go in on the brakes. Go deep. You can let the car rotate mid-corner, then you power out towards the second apex. So double apex corner is turn 2. And then over towards the left-hand side. You can use this curb, and this is something you'll see during the course of this lap and the next few laps. You can use a lot of the curb throughout the course of these laps. Turning at the end of that curb there. And it's these big red things that you really want to watch out for. First off, you don't want to touch them, but you do want to look out for them. You want to watch them, see where they are, and use them as a reference. A lot of the time for these corners coming up here, you're apexing just after these big red bollards. Coming out of turn 3, lots of curb to use here, so I'm just using all of it because you can carry extra speed. Into turn 4, again, massive red bollard, apex on it, but don't touch it. On the exit, you've got plenty of curb to use as well. So you can carry more speed if you use the curb on the way in and on the way out. I don't like to use this curb here too much because I think it unsettles the car. Braking just after that shadow or just before the 3, and you're turning in at the end of the curb, and again you can see a big red bollard. But this time I'm going to apex a lot later because I feel like you want to get the drive up the hill. So you're focusing on your exit speed rather than your entry speed. Now into turn 6, quite a tricky one, braking on the 2. It dips down as you apex. You can get on the power before you get to the apex then, and you can use all of the AstroTurf there if you have to. Now coming up towards the corkscrew, very famous corner, very difficult to get right because of the braking zone, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is line myself up with the left-hand side curb here. As you can see, it's completely blind going in. You're going over a big crest, very difficult braking zone to get right. What I'm going to be doing, as long as I've lined myself up on the left back there, looking for the 4 on the right hand side, braking on that in a straight line, pretty much just grazing this curb as you come across, and then coming into the curb here. Again, AstroTurf on the left, AstroTurf on the right as you come through the right hander down the hill. I don't think you really want to touch that too much, but definitely make use of the curb, definitely touch the curb. For the downhill of turn 9, you don't need to go fully to the right. You can actually keep quite to the left or in the center of the circuit, power out to the right, sweep back over to the left, braking just before the 2. And actually this corner here, turn 10, is actually quite open. You can actually really carry a lot of speed, quite banked as well. So you really go very quickly through there. Again, using the curb on the exit, braking before the 3 into the final corner. And this is a crucial traction zone. As we come out, you definitely want to get in the power early, but not enough that you start spinning out the car. So we're going to go for a faster lap here and see what we can do. So up the gears, turn 1, left-hander over this crest, easily flat out. So we're looking again for that 3 board. So it's the second board, braking just before it. And you're going to go for a second apex here. So let the car rotate mid-turn and then power out. Over to the left-hand side quite early to prepare yourself to brake in a straight line. Turning in at the end of that curb. I've turned in a bit too early there. Using plenty of curb here, get extra track width, you can carry more speed on the way in here. And on the exit, maybe that's a little bit too much. So got on the throttle a little bit too early. Braking just after the shadow, pretty much on the 3 board, braking a straight line, turning at the end of the curb. Apexing just after the big red bollard and going a little bit too wide. That just shows you. Maybe I could apex later than that to get more speed on the way out. This one you have to be really brave, committed on the way in and on the way out. You can probably get on the power before you get to the apex. Looking for the 4 board, it's quite hard to spot. It's very small. The bollards, sorry, the track markers here, the brake boards are actually really small. it's actually quite difficult to spot them. But those are what you're looking out for. And once you know where they are, your lap times are going to come down if you can be consistent with them. So you're going to smack that ball, and you see just what that does. It really unsettles the car. You don't really want to do that at all. So braking just before the 3 board. Difficult corner this, big traction zone here. So make sure you don't get on the power too early, as the car will want to just completely spin out on you. So it'll be quite a slow lap time here, 128.0. We can go 4 seconds quicker than that, I reckon. So let's go for a quicker lap here. I'm going to try to do it properly. So go deep, rotate the car, power out on the way out in a straighter line, back over to the left-hand side. Again in a straight line, turning in at the end of that curb. And then powering out onto the curb here. Might as well just stay on the curb. Extra track width. Hit the bollard there, not good, unsettled the car. But we are 3/4 of a second up on our previous best. Braking on the 3, turn in late, be patient on the power. It does kind of tighten up on the exit there, so you've got to be really careful with that. 2 seconds quicker at this point. Braking just before the 2. Clip the apex on the power early. Probably could have used a lot of the AstroTurf on the outside there. Moving over to the left to get a straighter braking point. For the corkscrew, the famous corner here. Turn 8 and 8A, technically 2 corners. And then keeping somewhat over to the left, kind of in the middle there. Being patient, waiting for that late apex before powering out. Over to the left-hand side. Very fast sweeping corner this. It opens up on the exit, so you can actually get on the power really early. Braking just before the 3, down to 2nd gear. Probably could go into 1st, but I think 2nd actually keeps the traction in check. So we're pretty much going to go exactly 4 seconds quicker, as I said. We're going to cross the line there for a 124.1. So that's just a quick look at Laguna Seca, a very famous circuit. The first real-world circuit to be added into the Gran Turismo series way back in Gran Turismo 2. And it's been in every game since then, and now it's in Gran Turismo Sport. So hopefully you can use a couple of these tips to make your lap times a little bit quicker.